My 25M husband, 30M, made me listen to him tell his mother about my paraphilia. Hi, I'd like to start by sharing I've 25M been married to my husband, 30M, for 6 years. I've had a secret paraphilia since I was first exposed to it when I was 12. It's not something that hurts anyone or anything or exposes or does anything to non-consenting people. But it's something I'm highly embarrassed of. A few months ago my husband found out about my paraphilia by digging into really old Google searches on my account from years and years back, and blew up over it. I recognize it's definitely wrong that I hid it from him, but it's something I've spent most of my life trying to deny within myself, as it's not something I want to have as a part of myself, and I'm now seeking therapy to get rid of it. As soon as he found out, he told me he would kill people like me and made me stay sitting in front of him while he called his mother to tell her everything about it. This left me extremely traumatized, being something I don't want myself. My biggest fear since early puberty has been someone finding out, let alone them telling other people about it. I've tried doing everything to make the relationship work, but feel like I can't see his parents now, even though his mom told him to give me a chance. He wants me to drive him to his parents' house and deliver some things and visit. I don't think I can go through with it. I feel too shell-shocked from the experience. What do I do here? As soon as he found out, he told me he would kill people like me. That's when you leave. It's hard to comment fully without knowing the paraphilia, but regardless of what it is, you are in an unsafe relationship since he is making death threats. Dude, IDK, if I was you I'd be divorcing him so fast his head would spin. Telling him mom wasn't necessary. It was cruel and unusual. Who wants to know what their Sil is into sexually? You don't mention what the paraphilia is. But him telling you people want to kill you isn't alright. You must have known he wouldn't be safe to tell, and after a reaction like this IDK, how you'll feel safe telling him anything ever again. He completely shattered your trust and now wants to go back to business as usual. You have to tell him no. What he did was unforgivable. Also, the fact he forced you to sit there and listen as he told him mom screams abusive to me. What kind of paraphilia are we talking about? I mean, his reaction was really extreme. Well, that's a new rabbit hole I just fell down. Given you don't state exactly which of the 500 plus types of paraphilia there are, which covers the gamut from minors, rape, inanimate objects, Eiffel Tower, anyone, feeding, female breasts, non-human animals, cuckolding to feet, you're kind of preventing people from giving you good, solid advice. There's two main points here. Your claim your husband searched through Google searches from years and years ago, and his reaction consisting of shouting he'd kill people like you. But a judgment on whether his checking your search history and subsequent reaction was justifiable depends on your paraphilia. While I appreciate that you're not comfortable with saying it, especially in light of his reaction, the fact you've not made a point of assuring us it's okay, it's not one of the illegal, dangerous ones, gives me pause. If it is one of the dangerous, illegal ones, which you have honestly worked to repress and you sincerely are trying to get professional help in dealing with it, that's a good thing. But your husband's reaction isn't necessarily over the top or resolvable. When you say you've tried everything to make this relationship work, I wonder if that means your paraphilia has prevented you from being able to have a normal relationship. If, however, your paraphilia is one of the unusual but harmless ones, learning, shoes, armpits, or especially, given you're in a same-sex marriage, heterophilia, then this is a massive overreaction and you're better off without. Regardless, I think we can all agree, therapy is an excellent idea. Addressing the elephant in the room. I am sure that it is animals of some sort. The comment section is rampant with people suggesting animals, children, or rape. And Op responded by saying no to children and no to non-con. But didn't write off animals. So Op is either yanking to animals doing things, people doing things to animals, or is a furry. With that out of the way, I agree that it's very weird and I would absolutely avoid being around you. But it's time to dump your BF. For the following reasons. 1. He was looking through your search history? Why was he going so far back too? That's an invasion of privacy. Point 2. He said that he would kill people like you. You are no longer safe. He is him. And you are a person like you. Nothing besides the law is stopping him from killing you. Do trust that if he finds a way that will guarantee him not getting caught. You are gone. Point 3. You'll have to continue to interact with his mom and friends, who he will very likely also tell. Can you handle that? I think not. From that last thought you added. Point 4. Unless he truly works to come to terms with your paraphilia, he will be holding this over your head forever. As in, hey, I don't really feel appreciated in this relationship, from you a year from now. Just to be met with, how about you date a dog then? If you want to feel appreciated? Quote. Or being shut down or forced to deal with however he wants to act because he didn't leave you. After learning your disgusting secret, please leave. Yeah, I'm gonna need to hear the actual name of the kink before I render a verdict on this one. Either way, you probably don't have a future with this man. There are types of paraphilia that would elicit this type of response. So can you at least tell us it's not CP or involving, consenting, minors in any way? Because a lot of responses will vary based on your answer to that. It's pretty disconcerting that whatever this paraphilia is would trigger that kind of a response from your spouse. The fact that you chose not to reveal it even through a throwaway account definitely gives off the impression that it's one of the really bad ones and would rightly get you lambasted. When we have bad news or something bad to tell our partners, it's 100x better if this news comes from us and is not something they had to find out on their own. They should not have been going through your old search history. And that raises its own red flags. Along with the fact that they immediately told their mother, your relationship is over. Tell him he can get his mom to pick him up. He violated your privacy. And it's probably not the first time he's done it. And whatever you're into has triggered a violent response in him. I don't think there's any getting past that. It's definitely animals. Should definitely not be with someone who would threaten to harm you, but if I found out my so was jerking off to animals being sexually abused, I'd leave them immediately. Him embarrassing you in front of his family is cruel regardless. Your unwillingness to be forthcoming about what paraphilia we're referencing here makes it very difficult to pass full judgment. And your avoidance of certain comments that are speculating gives me the feeling that it is as bad as your husband made it out to be. Our intention here is not to lump you in with other people who share your paraphilia. Our intention is to use the full story to give you an accurate opinion. My assumption is that this has to do with animals. As you could argue that animal PRN doesn't contain non-consenting people. Your vagueness alludes to this as well. Now, while I do think your husband's reaction is very extreme, I also can see someone saying what your husband did at the knowledge that you're turned on by watching humans have sex with animals. That is repulsive. And such a big reaction could make sense with that knowledge. Does it make it right what he said? No. And you definitely should get a divorce. But perhaps his reaction was not as unwarranted as you're framing it to be. Glad you're receiving therapy for whatever it is. And trying to better yourself. Without the full story, though, we cannot fully give you a proper opinion. No. Don't go to his parents' place. That will be too humiliating. Your husband is cruel and abusive, and I think you need to get away from him. A husband is supposed to be on your side, not spilling your secrets. Location flag. It was controlling that he dug through your search and won't allow you privacy. Location flag. It was cruel that he made that call and forced you to listen. Location flag. Worst of all, he more or less threatened to kill you. Location flag. It's probably hard to get away from someone so controlling. So you might need help from your local women's DV shelter or similar. www.hotpeachpages.net might have an organization in your area you can contact. Edit. Hijacking my own comment to point out that OP has said in a comment that it's definitely not anything like CP, so please can we stop victim blaming with these imaginary scenarios. https www.reddit.com/r/relationship advice/comments/14707m/c/jnui5rq. The BF could be transphobic or racist, for example, and make death threats over that. He found this out because he was spying on you. He humiliated you and indirectly threatened to kill you. None of this is normal behavior. Your husband should be kind to you about something that you feel is so personal and shameful. Leave him immediately. I'm sorry, but I don't believe this at all. Something isn't right. Without knowing what it is, how are people comfortable commenting? This guy can either tell us what it is, or we have to believe it's bad enough to warrant this reaction. So if it hurts no one, tell us so we can judge appropriately. I am guessing you have left out a lot of information purposely. You will pack your bags. Tell him that you don't want to be killed for your mental illness and you will never talk with him ever again. Then find a divorce lawyer, a therapist, and a restraining order. Never ever be alone with him ever again, especially not in a car. Honestly, reading this left me in chills with a pit in my stomach. There's something very, very wrong here. And that something is the fact that you won't even say what the paraphilia is. On a throwaway account on Reddit, a place nearly synonymous with depravity and sexual deviancy, I don't have any advice. Other than, you need to be honest with us and give us more details if you actually want advice. Because our answers will 10,000,000% depend on what this paraphilia is. You aren't saying what it is for a reason. I feel like that reason may be that the answer would make a lot of people instantly not be in your side. So what is it op? Your marriage is over. I don't know if therapy is of any use for sexual desires or perversions. But you and your husband can't go back and fix this. Move on. Get help if it would do any good. And for goodness sake, clear your browser history. If your paraphilia is something illegal or harmful, I hope you are controlling it.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.